welcome everybody to LinkedIn Leads Mastery, the proven system to 2 to 5x sales with AI. My name is Shamaya. I'm a LinkedIn strategist and the author of Happiness is a Verb. These are some of my other books, but we are here really because you want to find out what can you do to generate more leads, right? You want to scale your company. Maybe you want to get out of debt. You want to help more clients, travel to amazing countries. Whatever it is that you want to create, you need the system, the knowledge, and a coach, somebody who truly cares for your results and can really guide you and help you on that path. Because the truth is, nobody succeeds alone. Now, you joined today hoping to find something that could help you. There's a lot of other things you could be doing right now, and yet here you are with us today. So I want to recognize you for being here. Thank you for joining. It says a lot about you. It means you're willing to learn, you're willing to do something to make things better in your life. So thank you so much for showing up live and very well done. As I mentioned, my name is Shamaya. I'm a LinkedIn strategist, a business coach, and the author of Happiness is a Verb. And really my superpower is to grow B2B sales for companies with LinkedIn and AI. So I just want to see where everybody is from. Brazil, very cool. Chicago, marketing professional from Pennsylvania, from all over the world. North Carolina, marketing. Yeah, for marketing, this is really great because your clients are on LinkedIn. That's where the B2B sales, the B2B pipeline is being built. Colorado, Chicago, a lot of people from Chicago. Oh, Beth, that's a great skill. I help sales teams with emails and talk tracks to get sales meetings. This could fit in really great and create great synergy. We definitely should talk. I'd be interested to see how you could help some of my clients because that have the leads and can really improve their sales or add email to it as well. San Diego, payment processing, great. I see a lot of people, which is great, that are doing B2B because that is LinkedIn really the best platform for. Minneapolis, Richmond, UK, welcome Ben. Scott, welcome from Texas, from Kansas, California. And Tanzania, welcome. Great to see everybody. As I mentioned, if you can have your camera on, it will be great. I really enjoy meeting and getting to know you as much as possible. So this webinar will be different. I'll be going fast, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't interact. You should. Doesn't mean you shouldn't ask questions. You should. Also keep in mind, you won't likely get the idea in the first 5-10 minutes because you won't, and those who don't, you only for. So if you came here today, if you spent the time, I recommend to look for the gems, because if you look for gems that you can apply in your own business, you will find them. If you're looking for things to complain about, you'll find them too, because the value you get from this training really depends on your viewpoint. What will you look for? That's what you'll find. I've had people attend this training, they looked for the gems, they found them, they applied what they thought and closed a new client just from what I learned in this training today. But of course, it's impossible to succeed if you can't persist. Nothing valuable comes easy in life. So I highly recommend that you stay on, stay till the end and actually participate and take action. The next hour might be your first step on the path you have been searching for. Because while we will learn about LinkedIn, the principles apply for anything in business and in life. And that can make a really big impact. Now, a few quick agreements. Number one is participation. You know, if you look at Wimbledon or the Super Bowl, you've got to play to get paid. It's the players who make the money, and it's the people sitting in the audience looking, the spectators, that are paying. So if you pay attention, if you play full out, which means you really hear, you're engaging, you listen, you're not distracted doing 25 other different things, you will get the nuggets that will take you to the next level. Really, just applying the system can easily add 6 figures or more in revenue. And if you don't understand, please ask. I do my best. We have a big group, but I'll do my best to keep an eye on the chat. And then if not, I'll answer questions at the end as well. So if anything is not clear, please ask. No need to find fault. That's not the place for it. And also, number 3, I mean, I think you can understand this is not a networking event. people take time out of their schedule here to learn about LinkedIn, not to engage. So please, if you need more leads, I recommend you pay attention and not like start to connect with other people here, sharing your profile and website and things like that. So I just want to check, do we have an agreement, either by show of hands or yes in the chat? Do we agree that we're going to stick with these 3 simple principles? That's Donna, thank you. I see Ben, Donna, oh, a lot of thumbs up. Thank you very much. Yep, thank you. And well done for the participation, Timothy, Judy. It's really great. Dale. Okay, great. Now, how many do you feel sometimes that you are the best kept secret? Anybody can relate? Who feels like that sometimes? Yeah, anybody? Sorry, I didn't see the hands. Demetrius, my screen disappeared. Okay, cool. Yes, I totally understand. Because if you realize, if you have a great product, I saw you from, where were you from? Jason, for example, he has an AI education business. If more people would hear about you, would you say you could easily double your sales and really help more companies, help more people? Would you say that's true, Jason? Or Scott, or... Instead, if you don't know how to get the leads, it can be a challenge. How many of you can relate to any of these challenges? Inconsistent lead flow? Or anybody? Yes. Yeah, they wish they had found you years ago. Exactly, Billy. So what you need to do is just make sure new clients can find you and don't have to search for you for years. Inconsistent lead flow, maybe poor quality leads. So you have leads, but you feel like you're wasting your time. Lack of nurturing, rising acquisition costs. That's a big one, especially ads been going up. LinkedIn ads are quite an investment and not always bringing the ROI that you're looking for, which is eating in your profit. Lack of nurturing and conversion process, or difficulty standing out. How many would you say, yes, you have one or more of these issues that you're struggling with in your company? Yes, that too. Yeah, and the thing is, leads are really vital for the future of your company, because without leads, you won't have any sales conversations. Without sales conversations, how can you close? If you can't close, there is no income. So the future of your company depends on the leads, like the people interested in what you have to offer. Without sales, obviously, and without income, your company cannot survive. And that's why leads are vital for the future of your company. It's much like oxygen. You can't live very long without. So today's training is a crash course in building a LinkedIn lead engine. I will show you the costly mistakes that make lead generation fail, the hidden LinkedIn lead generation system that generates quality leads. And you can see here we have over, how many people do we have? Over 120 people attending today. The proven formula to scale your lead generation to expand and to really scale without having to spend hours on LinkedIn, because that's how I actually developed the program. And as I mentioned, we'll have question and answer at the end where we can have some time and you can ask questions. If you have them in between, definitely post them if I can, or it's relevant to what I'm covering, I will do my best to answer them. And definitely the key is being able to stand out, not just being another of the same. Do you agree that companies who know how to market make a lot of money? I would say, yeah, I can definitely see that. It's the marketing that I'm missing. They are very well known. Like companies, like we all know them, Nike, Disney, companies obviously like Apple, and we see them everywhere all the time. And we love them, so we continue to buy from them. So that is really what you want to create as well. Because that is what marketing is about. You need an ever-growing number of people to know about you, to understand the pain you can help them solve, or the pleasure that you can bring to them, and make them fall in love with your company. The purpose of marketing, and this is really key, I've noticed that few people actually understand that. And this from my mentor, it's like, wow, this is really, really powerful. The purpose of marketing is to create want, to establish relationships, and sell something, creating future income. So this is really where you're here. So my LinkedIn marketing brought you in here. It created a want because now you want to know, how can I have a system to generate more leads? We established the relationship because in the next like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we get an idea. I get to see Donna. Donna sees me, Demetrius, Dale. Like we're starting to establish the relationship and then sell something to create future income. Now let's discover how to use LinkedIn, and then specifically my LinkedIn lead system that moves companies like yours from the shadows to the spotlight. Because creating content, posting, sending connection requests, growing your following, building your brand is all great. I'm all for it. It's all very good because you want to become known. But the question is, does it generate leads and bring sales? That's the purpose of marketing, remember, to create want, to start establishing the relationships and to sell something. Most companies losing out on a lot of money because they don't understand the missing link. I've interviewed a lot of like social media marketers and they say, well, but we do social media, but no, but the social media needs to bring results. I'm very result oriented and that's what I want to create for you with LinkedIn. It's not just about posting content and looking good. We're in business. We want leads and we want to convert the leads. Now, how can you turn your LinkedIn connections into sales conversations? The good news is you're here and I'm going to share with you my unique system that leverages a LinkedIn feature that very few companies know how to do successfully. It allows you to bypass the gatekeepers and fill your sales pipeline with qualified leads who are interested and eager to learn more about what you have to offer. Who agrees that would be great? To find out that system, yes, okay, I see a lot of thumbs. I love that. Demetrius, Michelle. That's great. So can you relate to this? Like you have a LinkedIn profile, like you know about LinkedIn, you have the basics, but it's not really compelling and generating new business. You have maybe, like said, let's say 3,000 plus connections, but you actually have no idea how to monetize your connection. They're just sitting there. They haven't heard from you for a long time, or maybe they have heard from you, but it's not really getting the results that you would like. And the biggest one, what I see, the biggest issue is you lack the system. You lack the system to generate quality leads, to nurture and convert them and actually build those relationships that fill your pipeline and convert them into sales. Because who of you agree it's much more efficient to have a system than to do it all manually? And you just do it when there's spare time and then you just don't get to it all the time. So it's not consistent. Well, LinkedIn really is your opportunity. The question is, how do they find you? So just to get an idea, how many LinkedIn connections do you have? Just to get an idea about how big, more or less, it's not like exactly on the number. 2,000, Greg, that's a great start. 8,000, Andy, you're definitely sitting on money. Sarah, well done for being here. That's a good start. 13,000, oh my gosh. Beth, 10,000, that's amazing. 22,000, Kenneth. 5,000, Donna. 4,500, Matthew, 2 billion. Okay, that's a lot of connections. Jason, 12,000, 18,000. Like, there's a lot. How are you actually going to even message them to let you know how you can help? Now, let's say I think Donna. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think it was Donna that had 5,000. So let's take Donna as an example and discover like how much gold is hiding in your LinkedIn network right now. You have 5,000 connections. Statistically, that means that about 200 to 500 of your first degree connections could buy from you if you give them more education and engagement. And about 50 to 150 of them are probably looking for an answer that you have a problem that you can solve. Now let's say we keep it on the safe side. Let's say let's just 10% of the 50. That could be 5 new clients. If the value is, let's say, $12,000 over time, that's $60,000 that's just sleeping in your LinkedIn network. But most people also say, well, the problem is lack of time. How do I get in touch with them? Or maybe you've been spending a lot of time but just not getting the result. Anybody here, this is the curiosity that you've using Sales Navigator or you've been running LinkedIn ads and actually didn't get any return? Anybody has noticed that? That you're paying every month for Sales Navigator and it's a good tool, but it's not really getting you the results. Just started Sales Navigator. Okay, it's a great tool though, I recommend it. It's just part of the whole machine. On its own, it's very difficult. Sorry guys, don't know why. This keeps popping up. Okay, good. One of the target not on LinkedIn, I've used it but no leads from it. Kevin, then LinkedIn can still work, but the training here is about how to use LinkedIn. If they are on LinkedIn, there are other ways and other strategies. I can help with that as well, but that's kind of a different training. Oh wow, Donna's used a sales company to spend 30,000, not a single lead. That's incredible. That's not good. In this case, you definitely can apply it and actually get results. What is the little known hidden LinkedIn feature that's worth gold? It actually is this whole system, which is the LinkedIn event webinar system. So the LinkedIn event, and it's a feature on LinkedIn that allows you to promote an event. It can be a workshop, it can be online, but it allows you also to invite your connections, to bring in new people, and to use the event to get people to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in what you have to offer. I mean, most of you, that's why you're here. You raised your hand and says, okay, I want to find out more about LinkedIn leads. Now, some people don't make it live. It's okay too. I still have the leads. I still know that this is what they want. Now, let me explain to you how the whole system works, how it comes together, and then we go in each one of the different aspects, just in like an overview, like a bird's view. Obviously, there's much more involved in each of the steps, but I want to give you enough that if you come from here, you can actually start using it and implementing it. It's one of the best ways also to build credibility, because by bringing value, you help leads understand how you can help them and what you're an expert in. They get the experience for themselves, who you are, and that you know what you're talking about. And after that, if you have a sales conversation, people being at your event, is much more easy to close them because they already understand what you do, how you can help. Now, let me explain to you how it is designed. Phase 1 is the foundation. This is really key. You need to have a strong marketing message. Your profile needs to be optimized and you need to have a strong offer. Now, the marketing message really is focused on what is the value that you bring? How can you help? What's the problem you solve, or the pain that you can avoid, or the dream that you can help them create? As you can see here, Adrian protecting law firms. So immediately it's like, okay, I just see what he can offer, how he can help you. Your LinkedIn profile needs to be optimized and communicate the value that you bring. If not, your connection acceptance rate will be very low, the engagement will be low. Like, people can come to your profile and you lose them. Like, ideal clients could come there and just leave because they don't get it. Phase 2 is the targeted outreach. Your connections are valuable because it allows you to message them, to engage with them, but you must be connected to them. And they need to be obviously your future ideal clients. People who are interested in offer or who could potentially buy from you. And that's why it's also important to continuously expand your network with the right people. And in today's world, it's harder to get attention because the market's becoming more saturated. Just messaging doesn't always work, but it's still possible if you know how to do it and how to do it correctly, but you must do something differently. You really need to stand out. And to increase your credibility, increase your visibility, and expand your reach and reputation, LinkedIn events are just great. The targeting outreaches, and here's where Sales Navigator comes in to invite and engage with the right people, and allow you to really start warming up your audience, start building the relationship. And there's some really great ways that you can do that. So you don't have to send 100 connection requests that you can usually send per week. I can share with you like how you can send up to 200-300 connection requests if you have a good network and a good acceptance rate, and actually can see how your messages are performing. Is it working? Are people engaged outside? And in phase 3, that is where we start with your event. So it's setting up your event, in this case, about the LinkedIn leads, the lead generation system, and then all the components to that. So you need an effective LinkedIn event title to attract the right prospects. Those two things are really vital to the system. Is number 1, you need to have a strong LinkedIn profile, and number 2 is your event title. I had one time, it was very cool because this business owner, he was one of those people that take action. So after the event, he went to my event right away. He started creating his own event, which was great. He launched his own event. He had about 20 people register, 4 people attended, but none of them could actually buy. None of them was a potential prospect. His title was so confusing that while people were interested, it was not the right people that he wanted to work with or that he could work with. So your title really needs to speak to your ideal client and get them to engage with you. And then obviously number 4, the sales conversion. You need a system to stay in touch with them because people rarely buy the first time. A few people do, but most people, mostly it takes 8 to 15, and in today's market, even more touches that people are actually ready to convert them. So when people register for your event, your job is not done. It's actually when it begins. If they register, it doesn't mean they will attend. So the whole system includes, like, once you have your event set up and people register, you need to promote it, obviously. Then when people register, you want to start engaging with them to increase the show up rate. You want to make sure that they have the Zoom link, and you can even start booking calls before the event. I checked recently, and 50% of my clients actually never made it to the event because we booked calls either before the event or after the event, or they couldn't make it, but they can still buy. You still have amazing leads. Here is one example. It's a little bit small, but it says 21 sales calls booked. That was from one event for that week. But you need to have a lead nurturing system in place, ideally with AI automation to make it more efficient. And that is really the game changer. One time was also I had a phone call, and I'm in Cape Town, so I'm 10 hours ahead of California, and it was quite late. And usually I don't answer my phone that late, but I happened to see it vibrating, so I answered, and I'm glad I did. It was a consultant from California, and he had attended my event, but my calendar was fully booked for that week, and he was so excited he didn't want to wait. He didn't want to wait until the next open spot. So he found my number, he called me because he knew he needed a system to grow sales and to grow his company. He was ready to join. Now, it turned out to be an amazing client. He has great results. His events are doing very well. And so I'm glad I answered the phone. But it really shows that thanks to the LinkedIn events, people already understand what you have to offer. And I had been looking at other LinkedIn companies. It happened to be my program was the most expensive, but he understood as a business owner that it's the results that matter more than the investment. How many of you see the value of having a system where you actually generate the leads, warm them up, nurture them, and then convert them into sales? And if you have any questions on this section, please let me know. A good question, Kenneth. That's very relevant. LinkedIn Live webinars effective? LinkedIn Live webinars are definitely great. They just serve a different purpose. Because with LinkedIn Live, you usually catch people that happen to be on LinkedIn scrolling, so they may not come from the beginning to the end. While the benefit of scheduling a LinkedIn event, like here now, is that you're here because you put it on your calendar, you make the time, you actually sit down to get the full training. But if it's a live, people may catch a little bit or not. So it's good. I would use it to promote your event rather than just having your webinar on as a live. Yeah, definitely, Billy Joe. Those are potentially seeking what you offer. You must stand out, not just as a weight loss strategy. Yes, you definitely want to help people understand what makes you uniquely different. And if you don't want to do a webinar, there's a few things you can do. Number one is you can partner with somebody who will do the webinars for you. If not, you could even do here with the targeted outreach and use that strategy just to send messages and engage with people that way. Even with that tool, I mean, you can send 800 email messages for free per month. Instead of 100, you can do 300. So you can really scale your targeted outreach. And yes, so that's good to know. Yes, so for the people where you are here, as I mentioned, the foundation is the LinkedIn profile. If you would look at your profile, do you feel that it actually communicates the value that you bring? Who would say like, yes, I have a strong profile, and who would say, yeah, it actually needs some work? It's your hope that it looks good. Okay. But does it get you actually people to realize? Good profile needs to be defined, definitely. Oh, Beth, that's great to hear. Mine needs work. I feel it's strong, need work. Okay, Rodney, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Okay. Yeah, Jessica, posting definitely is good. I would combine it though, as I said, either with an outreach strategy or with your event, so you're actually guiding people somewhere. There's a whole strategy for that as well. It's kind of a different training, depending on what you achieve and what kind of content, and making sure that your content get engagement. I'll go into that a little bit later. Commenting gets great visibility. That definitely is true. How many of you would say if there would be like a workshop or a masterclass where you could just get your profile done, even if you already have it, get some reviews, get it polished? Who would say that could be valuable? Yes, Andy, Brian. Okay, cool, valuable, great. I've done this. I've done the masterclass, which is really a workshop. It's not just where you like here where you sit and listen, but you actually get it done. So it's done at the end of the training, and that was $297. Well, for LinkedIn, you should be able to make that back easily in sales, and more if you actually apply. If you can't make $300 on LinkedIn with a sale, then LinkedIn is likely not the best platform for you, because it's really for B2B, B2C, or higher end. Okay, let's go back to the foundation and build a little bit more on that. Costly mistake number one to avoid. Your LinkedIn profile is about you. Here is an example. A lot of people use their title in the headline section, which, okay, it is who you are, but it doesn't really communicate. If you look at Janelle's profile, you would think she's a realtor, where in reality, what she actually does, she generates more revenue for realtors. She does auction for realtors to help them sell for a better price and faster. And so if she would reach out to realtors with the old profile, they would just feel like, oh, it's just another broker. Well, here you can see she actually has value for them to bring. And if your profile isn't really positioned to convert, every connection request you could lose because people will not accept it. Every post, every event registration, it's leaking opportunity. People are checking you out, and maybe they're quietly deciding like, no, not because you're not amazing, not because they don't need what you do, but because your profile doesn't help them to understand, or it doesn't show why you are the obvious choice. And that's costing you leads, it's costing you sales, it hurts your revenue. And that's why your LinkedIn profile is the first fundamental step of building this LinkedIn lead engine. It will make all the difference. Erica, she worked with me, she rewrote her profile, and after optimizing, she booked her first 5 sales meetings that week. And she'd been active on LinkedIn for a while. It was just not clear to people like how she could help. Once she had that clarified for herself and for people reading her profile, it was a game changer. Now, I really also don't hope that this is your profile. That definitely is not a profile optimized for conversion. As you can see, he's a business technology advisor, but how can it be valuable for you or for me? Here you can see, and he specifically decided to target law firms for that specific event, but he can do cybersecurity for any company, IT support, keeping your law firm and clients safe from data breaches, hackers, and viruses. So very clear, if you have a law firm, it's important to make sure your clients stay secure, because I mean it can cost you your business. And so I've noticed that a lot of people, they have their profile somewhat done, or maybe there's components they're missing, they're having some holes, and then they're not getting the result. So I came up with an idea, and Kara can tell you, Kara is on my team, it was a bit last minute, so we had to scramble to put everything together. Because I realized life can be tough, everybody's busy as a business owner. It's hard to struggle and to get new things started on your own, while you already are overwhelmed with everything you have on your plate. So I was wondering if I would offer a masterclass to show you the formula to optimize your LinkedIn profile, to actually build this LinkedIn lead engine and see how you can make money with LinkedIn. Who would be interested to join? And yes, Marcia, your profile should be Andy, okay, cool. Your profile should be the solution you provide, or at least the pain. You need to have a connection with the leads, that how you can help. That's the key thing. There needs to be some kind of a value of connecting with you. Ron? Okay, cool, thank you. As I mentioned, the masterclass I did before, I charged $297, which is easy to make that back in sales if you participate and actually apply. So yeah, thank you for sharing. So phase 2, the targeted outreach. This is using Sales Navigator. So in Sales Navigator, you can choose the geography, the years of experience, the job title. Usually those are the key components, and the size of the company. Because you can imagine, if you target a company with less than 10 employees, it's very different than a company with 200 or 500 employees. So based on the targeting, you can then also adjust your messaging so that it speaks to the people you want to talk to. They have different problems, different situations. And that is what you're really looking for, to create that connection in finding something that is really real to them, so that they can say, that's exactly what I'm struggling with. Another great tool is Apollo.io, which we also use often, where you can also target on like job titles, a number of employees, and then the area where they are. The benefit of Apollo is that you get emails, which would be great if you use the email strategy combined with the LinkedIn profiles. And then we use that to do the network growth with AI, to use the tool to actually target those specific people instead of you having to message them one by one. Now you have to do this correctly. There's a few things that are very important. You need to make sure that if you use any tools, that it's not a Chrome extension, but cloud-based. That is really vital, because if not, you can get in trouble for that. And you need to make sure that you keep the security in place. So the messaging is not too intense. You write personalized messages. What's great with this tool that we have is Epic Outreach. It uses AI, so you can actually personalize the messages beyond the first and last name. And there's some more tools in that. But here you can see also, which is great, how many people actually accepted. Was this? Oh no, this is first degree. So this is how many people engaged with the message, 28%, which is pretty good. 15 to 20 is average. And here you can see the acceptance rate was 24.7, which is also good. The messaging after the engagement was not as high, 16. So once you know and you have the data, you can tweak your messages. You can improve. If you just send messages on LinkedIn directly, it's very, very time consuming to track and see the results from that. So this is if you don't do anything, optimize your profile and start with the targeted outreach, and you can respond to the emails. I don't go very much into this right now, but if you don't want to do your profile and you just want to do this and maybe not do events, we can definitely help you with that as well. This training really is how to build the full machine. It just is built of different components. If you send messages, keep this in mind. This can make a big difference when you're doing targeted LinkedIn campaigns. It's the length of your messages. I'm sure that you also get messages coming in. It's like this whole essay, and like, I don't want a new website. Or they're trying to pitch you something. It doesn't work. It's a social network. Engage with people. Keep it short, personable, and really engaging. 0 to 400 characters gets a 22% higher response rate compared to longer messages. In this case, 1200 plus is 11% less. This is from InMail, so this is LinkedIn's paid messages, but the same principles apply to the messages you send to your first degree connections. So you can see that the response rate goes down significantly the longer your messages. So keep your messages really friendly, personable, not salesy, but really caring. That makes a big difference. And if you want to know about the tool, just email me. We'll send you emails. Just send us a message and I'll get you the link. I don't have it. It's called Epic Outreach, but it's not. If you Google it, you won't find it easily. Then here comes the event webinar system. So you can see, in this case, Adrian, his event was on cybersecurity, shield your company against cyber threats, to get him the leads. Here's another example of the event webinar system, marketing love languages, the secret to endless leads. Now, the events can be very different. I have clients, they work with big companies. So if they have 10, 15 CMOs in an event, it's a great success for them because they only need 1 or 2 clients for the year, and the whole investment is paid for them. In this case, they are Guaranteed Prosperity. Gal Escher as the CEO. They're doing business coaching. He generated from his event 781 new leads. It's a little more here because there were also some existing clients that joined. So he generated 781 new leads with his first LinkedIn events, and he closed 43 new clients on his marketing webinar, web marketing training. Sorry, that was an online training. So as I mentioned, it works for different industries. These numbers may or may not be real for what you want to achieve and what you can potentially handle. I mean, this is an existing company. They have a whole team that can help and that coaches people. So, you know, for them it works. But don't feel like, oh, I need this many people. You may not need that many people to make it very, very profitable. Excuse me, give me one moment. Okay, excuse me. But I'm sure, though, that you see, to get these kind of results, you need to apply. If you just go in after this, you finish, then you don't do anything, you're not gonna get nothing's gonna change for you. Would you agree with that? And you can choose. Most of the events are live. Tamara's asking if they're live or pre-recorded. I recommend doing them live just for the engagement. But yes, I also have clients and they just record them and then it's, you know, just the replay. And it's not easy when you go through this and life is busy or you don't really actually know where to start, because there's a lot in the training today. What do you do first? Now, I really want to make sure that this hour that we spend together won't be wasted. And you agree, things get harder when you procrastinate and then you don't really remember. So I would love for you, and that's what I developed, like to take action right now is to join the special LinkedIn Gold Masterclass today. The investment is only $297 and it gets the profile done. It's really, this masterclass is designed to build the foundation of your LinkedIn lead engine, your LinkedIn profile, and optimize it for conversion. In the live, it's a live interactive masterclass. You get real feedback from me, and there's some other amazing business owners in the group. So it really helps to understand how to do it and how people perceive it. As a special bonus, I'll also give you access to the recording for 24 hours after if you can't make it. Plus, if you can't make it, you can also join the next live class, even if the price goes up. And then I highly recommend, if you invest in the prompts, I designed the prompts for my paying high-end clients, but it really will make a difference to make it simple and quick for you. So I would recommend to get those as well. Now, I love working with fast action takers. And so if you are committed to get results, instead of paying $297, you can join now for only $7. Plus, you'll have my personal 200% money back guarantee, meaning you come to the class, obviously you have to show up, you do the work, you allow me to coach you, and you feel like, nah, it was not worth my $7. I pay you back your $7, plus I pay you $7 for wasting your time. But I need you to come and I need you to do the work, right? I don't want to, just because it's $7 that you think, I'm gonna do and see what happens. No, then please don't join. I really care to bring results and to help people improve. So make sure that if you really want faster results, join. The link is in the chat. Use the code so you can get the special discount. And some of you see like, okay, really, I'm interested. I want to build the whole machine, but where my company is, I don't really want to do a masterclass. I just want it done for me. I want to fast track. You can book a LinkedIn strategy call. Kara will put the link in the chat to talk and see how we can build the whole system out for you. Obviously, the investment is a little more than $7, but your return will be significantly higher also. Phase 3, event setup and promotion. What would you say is more important, the quality or the quantity of your LinkedIn event? The invitations you send, the messages and the post. And you can just use the chat. Quality over quantity, okay. Okay, Williams, Kara will get back with you. Did you see that, Kara? Quality. Okay. Oh. Kyra, you can also send them a direct message and just have them give you their phone number and email. Oh, Beth. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening. That is strange. Kyra, maybe you can just write their names and phone number. Beth, if you can send Kyra or me a private message with your number, then we'll call you and we'll make sure that we get it resolved. The masterclass is February 23rd. Kyra, what time again? That's the next one, but if we do it again, you can still join. And you get the recording also if you can't make it live. Okay, thanks, Nurik. I'm glad it's working for you. Okay, now, well, I do agree. Yeah, Eddie, we do send the link for the replay out tomorrow. Obviously, you don't spam people or post junk. That's true, 100% with you. Yet, it's the quantity of promotion, not the quality, that determines your income. Because the question is, what is a good quality post or message? A good quality is content that creates engagement, that has the biggest reach and generates leads, but you won't know until you post. Quantity is more important than quality. I know it takes a bit, it took me a while to wrap my head around it, but actually I could see that the quantity, it doesn't have to be the perfect email, but the number of emails I send determines the number of sales calls and the number of income. And the income can come from different directions, fascinating enough. But the key is really for leads to engage with you. Because if you post, because you're asking how often do you post, but if you, the more is better, but you need to get engagement. So here are some examples of successful posts. They got a lot of impressions because the more engagement you get, the more LinkedIn will share it with others. And the more people will share it, the more we'll see it. And then the more people, obviously, it will be shared with as well. So it's the quantity that will get you the biggest reach. You need to learn the behind the scenes formula so you can actually use LinkedIn algorithms in your favor and understand that quantity is more important than quality. Now, again, we're not spamming. I'm not saying putting out junk. I'm just saying that more important is to put out more, even though it may not be perfect from your viewpoint. Maybe other people love it. And it works best combined with an outreach strategy. So you land in the inbox and people see you. With the tool that I mentioned, you can actually target, you can send messages to people that commented or liked your post, which is brilliant. You want to find out who's just browsing and who's looking for your solution. And that, again, is where the LinkedIn events combined with my event webinar system are so very powerful, because people then have a way to register and to show, hey, I'm interested in your topic. I'm interested in the problem that you can solve. It's the most effective tool to turn your LinkedIn connections into sales conversations and generate sales. Here are a few examples where you combine the system. So he sets up the event, he has 80 attendees, which is a small group, but he does something very specific. The NHS Care is in the UK on CQC rating is for care homes and service providers. So it's a very specific market. And so 80 attendees was really good. And here are some examples of his, I had this slide already. And then he used the content to get more people to his event. So you need a system, this is phase 4, the sales conversion, to capture interest and own the database. LinkedIn connections are great, but the bad news is LinkedIn, Facebook, any of them, they can press a button and you're gone. Like all your connections are gone. So make sure that you have your connections and you have their contact information so you can still reach them. When somebody registered for your event, they're raising their hand and saying, yes, I have a problem and I want to learn more about your solution. When they register, you collect their email address and the contact details, which is great because you can now continue to nurture the relationship with them. This is very high. Another costly mistake I see people making, it's a roller coaster. Anybody can relate? You're active on LinkedIn, but then you get busy. And you're not doing anything for a while, and then you start to think, maybe LinkedIn isn't for me. It's just not working. Why is it not working? What's the problem? You're missing a LinkedIn marketing system. And the system creates consistency. And really, I don't know about you, but most business owners are not looking for something else to do for 2-3 hours a day. You'd rather spend 2-3 hours less per day, right? Would you agree with that, Tamara? I see you smiling. Yes. So, because I love that too, I have a little girl, she's my little princess. So I want to create more time, which is why I developed the system. So your time become more efficient and you can actually leverage while getting still better results. This is a great quote from Edward Deming. 94% of failure is the result of the system, not the people. He was instrumental, in rebuilding the economy in Japan after World War II by teaching businesses to succeed by fixing their systems. I just put one moment because I see I'm a little bit, okay, sorry. I need to find my share button again. Wait. Yeah, I'm going to, oh, sorry. Don't just skip. I realize I'm a little behind today. I'll just go through the story a little bit faster. Because it was a beautiful morning. I was riding my horse Shanti in the mountains of Ecuador in South America, and the views were incredible, fresh air, wonderful people. I moved there 4 months ago to do missionary work, but I didn't speak a word Spanish when I arrived. And then one afternoon, I came home from the market and I was so sick. I was getting worse and worse. And the fever, the cramps, they were so bad. I really thought, if I was gonna die today, how long is it gonna take for my family to find my body in this remote area? So just imagine being really sick in a strange country, all alone. You don't speak the language, lost, lonely, afraid. You don't know the system, where to go, who to call. Fortunately, the sister of my landlord happened to go by and she took me to the hospital and they gave me antibiotics. It was really terrible. Like in IV, it was crucially painful. And really, it knocked the life out of me. I didn't have a system. I didn't have Kyra at the time, no team. And you can imagine how my income was suffering. And I used up pretty much all of my savings. So when my fiance proposed, I believed this was God's answer to my prayer. I packed up my life. I flew to the US, excited with the wedding preparations. Only then, one day we were having lunch at a Mexican restaurant in California, in San Diego. And out of the blue, Jonathan looked at me and said, Shemaya, the wedding is off. I'm like, wait, what? 2 weeks before the wedding, he broke up with me. I had given up my residency for Ecuador, my horse, my dream to be with him in California. He had convinced me that I didn't have to work as I was getting better. He would take care of me. And then he dumped me. Cruel, cold. I ended up basically homeless, devastated, broke, living out of my suitcase. I couldn't stay in the US. I'm not a US citizen. I couldn't go back to Ecuador. I'd given up my residency. And that's when I met a man named Mayor Ezra. I knew he was a very successful businessman. And at the time, I was at such a low point in my life. How could he even help me? I'd gone to many seminars. I spent a fortune on courses, coaches from Tony Robbins, Laura Langmeyer, Harv Eker, you name it, I've been there. And this man, Mayor Ezra, this businessman, he was so wealthy, so successful. I was living out of a suitcase at the time, but I had no choice. I had to give it a shot. I knew he had results and I knew at least I could try and I should apply what he suggests. I had to learn. I wasn't excited, but there was a little spark of hope left. Maybe something could be done. It was really ended up being a turning point in my life. I applied the business truth that Mayor, my mentor, taught me, and I used that to develop this LinkedIn lead engine system. And what happened next was shocking. It was such a success. We've had several times where we maxed out the Zoom's maximum upgraded plan. We've had like altogether over, I think, 140,000 leads generated for me and my clients. And it made a difference not only for me, but also for others. And Norik, I'm just going to go through it a little bit quicker. I think he's with us here today. How we went from one appointment every 2 weeks to 5 to 20 sales calls booked per week. Just imagine. He's a great businessman. He has amazing value. He's the founder of Recruit to Outsourcing. So he offers assistants, remote workers, various kinds, not just virtual assistants, but much more than that. He has a little boy. He wants to provide for his family.
I thought.
And this is what he applied, the LinkedIn event webinar system that I covered the different phases, how we applied that. And I'm just going to share with you.
You're not sharing your screen.
I'm not sharing the screen. Oh, now you're telling me. Sorry. All this time I wasn't sharing.
Yeah, it was just the last 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll just go. Yeah, but then, okay, good. Thank you for telling me. So here you can see Norik. He did the foundation, a strong profile, the targeted outreach, finding the right people to grow, setting up his event webinar system that brings in leads. He went from 2,500 per month net profit to over 18,000 per month in net profit. So, the webinar title says 2 to 5x. He actually 7x'd his profit, not just his revenue, his sales. He went to 2 to 4 sales calls. Oh, my screen is not showing. Oh, sorry. 2 to 4 sales calls to 60 plus sales calls per month. And I'm just going to share with you here really quick, as I know that you'll have to wrap up in a few minutes. Are you with us, Nurik? Let's see if I can find him and I can unmute you. LMN, where are you? So he can share the value really that it has been. So I really want to share with you the full overview. Here you are.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Nurik, welcome. Okay, there you are.
Yeah.
Welcome and thank you for joining. Really quick, because we're running a little late on the time. We have a few minutes left. I would love for you to share and say, okay, do you say that this strategy has totally impacted your business in a way that you never expected even was possible?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, hi everyone. Like it all started with I got onto Shemaya's event. I knew she was teaching the strategy before. And then she invited me to one of her events, and I remember seeing 200 people join. And then that's when I got closed on it, and I needed always a source of leads. Essentially, you know how it goes. Like I just started a business at the time, maybe like 6 months in, you get a lead or a sales call, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, like I can't miss that. I need to like get a sale, right?" And I'm in recruitment, so I need to constantly place people. So what happened was, if that meeting get rescheduled, then you lose the sale. And it's like you put everything into like that potential opportunity. But then I saw that so many people joined Shamaya's webinar, and she was able to generate interest and leads through LinkedIn. I got on a call with her, and then on the first call, we signed up. I was very hopeful. And in about 2 months, I remember seeing 35 attendees on my first webinar, and I was shocked. I remember messaging her. We booked 6 appointments then, and ever since, I never stopped. It's been more than 2 years, I think, since then. I did over 100 webinars at this point. We scaled so much. Like, the best webinar I had was like 25 sales appointments, and then I hired more team members for me, and then they deliver webinars for me. I have a sales team now that take care of these calls. And you know how it goes, right? You want to start running ads, and then it gets really expensive, especially if you target United States. It gets overwhelming very fast. You have to rely on what you have. You have to send messages to people, do cold calls just to like get some income going.
Yeah.
And you don't even know if you have a proof of concept. Like, is your product really working? Like, how can it generate more interest? So that solution with webinars is what essentially like solved the puzzle for me. I started generating so much more income from my business that we started running ads, because we have sufficient testing budget, right? That we generate consistent
That's
sales.
amazing.
We get clients. Last year, we placed over 130 candidates to US business owners, and I could only dream like of that before. Like I would place maybe one person every 3 weeks in the past. So, anyways, so that like after second month, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be Shemaya's best student. And then, I just scaled it. Like I scaled the webinars. I followed every single instruction. And Shemaya, could you let me share my screen? I just want to show like the live like
Yeah,
stats.
let me just, amazing. I would love to, let me finish up and then we can come
Okay.
back to the people who can
All right.
stay.
So sounds
Okay,
good.
because
Sounds
I
good. All
wonder if
right.
it's
Let me
fact if
show.
people have to drop off, then at
Yeah.
least they can see. But yeah, I would definitely love to see that. I really appreciate you taking the time to sharing that for people so they can see, because as this other lady said, people spend money with programs that don't end up delivering what they promise, and it's heartbreaking. So you need to do the work. It's not that doesn't come falling out the sky. I mean, you're in business, you understand. I mean, life is tough, period. Business takes work, but if you do it and you follow it, it will bring you the results. So I recommend you start. Karen will put the link in for the profile for the master class workshop, just so you can get going. Take the first step in building your LinkedIn lead gen. If you are ready though, and you have an existing company, I just want to show with you what's possible to build the profitable LinkedIn event webinar system that Norik and I worked out together, that he has built and like totally changed his company. There's two options. One is the LinkedIn Event Mastery, where we give you the full training with the support. And the other one is the webinar event system, where we design and build it out for you. So especially if you're busy, you're like, I don't have time for this. What's great with Norik, he has an amazing team. He has the roots. So we've partnered together. If you want everything outsourced, we can help you with that as well. Or you can do the training and do it on your own. It kind of depends on where you are in your business journey. Both of them are possible. Are there any questions in closing? I mean, this was, I'll just go. One sale plus 99 leads to close later. This was from Matthew McKinley from his LinkedIn event. You saw, I think, in the beginning, every event they walk away with 2 or 3 clients. She also does virtual assistant services. So the value of a client for her is about 30,000 per client. So that was about 60,000 in new sales. Yeah, the question is, you can do it on your own. I mean, the LinkedIn feature is available. You can figure it out. You can watch YouTube videos, but it's like going from New York to LA with the horse and buggy. It's going to take you a long time. It's not the most comfortable ride. I'm not sure if it's always safe, and you arrive pretty broken and stinky. While at the same time, you can also choose and say, you know what, I'm going to take the fast track. I'm going with Shemai in a private jet. It's much more comfortable. It's more faster. And the results are just really amazing. Now, really in closing, I highly recommend you join the LinkedIn Gold Masterclass today. The investment normally is $297. I have sold this masterclass for $297. People have paid this. It's not that I just made up the value, because it really is that valuable. Once your LinkedIn profile is done, it becomes a game changer. It's the first step. Then you want to do the targeted outreach, the events if you want to, and then you can actually turn leads, connections into conversations. Especially for those of you that have several thousand connections, this is like a no-brainer. If you can't make $300 back from your investment, you're like really, yeah, something's really not good. In the real life interactive masterclass, I'll give you live feedback. And then also you can get the recording for 48 hours after. If you can't make it, you can also join another one in the future if you prefer, even if the price will go up, because we have this special for this month for that you can join for just $7, which I don't know if I'm ever gonna offer this again. I would take advantage of it, use the code, and then it works. If you have any issues with the pages, just send me your phone number and your email, and I'll give you a call, or one of my people on my team, okay? And then there's the prompts that you can get. It will make it much faster. And you have the 200% money back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I will pay you the $7 plus $7 if you come to the masterclass, you allow me to coach you, and you didn't get any value, I wasted your time, I will pay you for that. So that is, yeah, that's in closing. Yes, Philip, thank you for joining. I know it was on the hour. It was great having all of you. Thank you for joining. It was amazing. I'm gonna give the platform back to Norik, so you can share your screen. Anybody, if you can stay a few more minutes and actually want to see the results of what is possible, I highly recommend you do so. I will stop sharing. And feel free to email me. You'll receive a few emails if you have to hop off, but you have any questions on the masterclass, or really working on a personal note, feel free to email me. I'd be happy to help you.
All right.
Yes, sure. Okay, back to Norik.
Thank you, Shamaya. Okay, so I just wanted to show, like, for example, for the first year, right, we were doing in my company the book a call webinar, right? We would book sales calls. That was the main idea, and then we would close clients on them. And then at some point, I realized, like, what if we try to directly sell, right, monthly subscriptions on my webinar for my recruiting agency? Because we offer some bonuses, community, and so forth. So once we start doing that, I'm just going to share my screens like of a sales dashboard so you guys can see. So this is in my CRM, right? Once we launch that, we on the webinar we would direct on like a sales page, and we generated 1,623 unique visitors. It's across several webinars. And then 130 of them went to the order form and 47 people converted, which resulted in $19,000 in recurring revenue. That's gross revenue. So this is like actually live stats, like I can refresh it, so you guys see it's real, and then I go back, let's say, like that. Oh, see. So just wanted to show you like this is real numbers. This is all accomplished through webinars, and that's in addition to, that's just one type of service that we offer. And before that, there was like weeks and months of webinars where we would sell directly. So this is just to show, what kind of results, I was able to achieve using that, and it's not that hard, and it does work. I think the biggest problem, like I'll tell you, like it's always this, like, how do I get leads, right? Like you may have the greatest product on earth, if you don't have anybody to show for it, or a way to gain attention, then it really becomes difficult. Then you can't test new ideas. So across like hundreds of webinars I've done following Shamai's instructions, we've tested different offers, right? What works better, what works worse, what type, what people respond to well, which one generates more appointments or sales, and we were able to nail it down to. But I remember I was speaking to another guy who he was running ads for himself to do webinars, and his cost per registration was like $20, and he was using Facebook ads, you know, and like compared to Shemaiah's strategy of getting people, and getting leads on LinkedIn, that turns out to like almost 10 times cheaper. So, it works really well. It really saved my business and allowed it to grow. Again, this is just, Shemaiah asked me to join today to share my success story. I do want to say it's like, this is like completely my experience, changed my business around, made it way more interesting to run instead of worrying about the leads. So this is just all I wanted to share for today. But anyways, thank you, Shemaiah, again, and
Yeah, thank you.
everyone who
Thank you
was
very
listening
much
to
for
this.
joining. I think it's valuable, and it's also great for people to hear it from you, than than just from me, to see that it actually worked.